Right, I thought I'd show you a little progress video here on this inner wing repair. Partly because the other day I was trying to explain to someone the difference between trying to weld old crap metal versus new clean metal, or even having just old metal that's been cleaned up but it's very, very wafer thin because of the fact that you've had to grind out all of the oxidisation impurity. So the bottom half around here, we cut it back, and I cut it just after, so the impurity, if it will focus on it, is there. I cut it just after that so that you've then got the full thickness of the metal just there. So therefore, instead of it being here and it being sort of thinned out by the fact you've got pitting that's taking craters of the surface out, you've got the full thickness of it. Difference is, around this bottom half, we managed to just literally go zing, zing, zing all the way along, and it's come out pretty very nicely because it's not, you've not been trying almost in places weld a bit of tin foil to a bit of metal that's probably half a mil thick. And obviously the thinner side's always going to blow straight out first, which is exactly what's happening at the top half. So the top half, so I think if I remember rightly, it was like that. So that's the top half there. Now the top half I cleaned up the best I could there, but I knew it was a bit iffy because you could see the pitting from the bottom side. And as you can see, even trying to do little weld there, because what you can do is you can, if it's cold enough and it's happy to do so, it's normally when it's stone cold, it's best to attempt it. You can sort of dot a bit of weld, and without blowing a hole you can get it to just attach, and then essentially you can then use the thickness of that blob of weld to then weld onto. And that's kind of what I'm having to do along this edge, because every time you touch it, it just blows holes. Whereas, so I was aiming for basically that line, and what's happened is the first weak part is that bit there where it's pitted and it's therefore thinner. And although I might have got the impurities out of it, because it's become so thin in doing so, it's now incredibly hard to blooming weld. So yeah, that's sort of the difference between trying to weld nice new clean metal or old clean but still good thick metal, and then trying to weld metal that you've basically ground loads of rust out, so it's now really wafer thin. It's the reason why quite often when you see restorers, I think this was on Whiteman Restorations, I think, on YouTube, I think, where basically, in fact, is it Whiteman's? I think it's Whiteman's. It's the one that they've got a Volvo 240 that they've just done a full rebuild on, but they showed they were doing, I think it was an Escort XR2 or something like that. It was some old Ford, and they found iffy metal like that all the way halfway across the front bulkhead, and they had to cut the entire lot out because it was the only way they could guarantee that it wasn't just going to come back again. And obviously that is the dilemma of sort of cutting the worst bit out and then sort of cleaning up around it. Although I've cleaned up and I've got the impurities out of the surrounding metal, because the metal around it's had the impurity taken out, you've also taken out half of the thickness. So yeah, if I was really going for it, then you take the entire area out and start again, but I'm not going for that. It's a daily car, so it's fine. It's just do it as we see it and do our best with it. So, but that's the difference between having nice clean metal and still full thickness, and then old metal that you've cleaned up and you've basically thinned it out in doing so. So it's got to wait for that to be absolutely stone cold, and then we can try and do it. Try again. There we got lucky. We had a bit of an issue here as well, and there where you see a big blob. So it's one of the pigs with restoration, unfortunately. Never mind. I've worked around it nonetheless.